a separate window. Hey, hello everyone. Welcome to our live stream. Sorry we are a few minutes late. We are suffering from some technical issues that we're resolving. We launching right into it. Um, we have no prep, but Gen Con, yes. Can can anybody hear Heather? Are we still working on that? Heather, say hi again. Okay. Okay. All right. So while Heather's working on this, we will talk about Gen Con. Launch right in. For those of you who have been to Gen Con, you already know. It's had its record-breaking attendance this year. Uh, I don't even know. Probably somewhere close to I think it was 80,000 attendees or something like that. It was super busy. We had a very, very, very productive weekend. We had our table at Studio 2. For those of you that came to visit us, it was really nice to see you. We had a lot of new faces and a lot of familiar faces that came through. We unfortunately did not take as many photos as I wanted to, but what we did have were the special giveaway pins. We had a promo going on that if you had pre-ordered the book or you came and you pre-ordered with us at the table, we had these collectible pins that were based off of Santi Casas's art for Meow. And oh, yeah, Heather's testing. Can anybody hear Heather? Not seeing anything? Okay. Well. uh so yes, the pins came out great. You know what? I was supposed to have a sample to show on camera, but we kind of launched right into this. Oh
Okay.
wait, I think I can. Aha. Wait, hold on. Oh wait, I
Do
have
you
my
have
Gen Con
something?
badge.
You have a badge.
Yeah,
There we
I have a badge with a whole
go.
bunch.
Hi, everyone. I did
Yay!
not know what it is about OBS, but every time
Woohoo! Yay!
I swear I get everything kind of set up and it should be fine. I'm going to turn that gain down just a bit. There we go. I get everything set up, everything works fine, everything looks great, and we get on stream and everything goes to shit. I don't know what
Yeah.
it is. Um,
Gee,
so yes. So okay. So yeah, Gen Con. Unfortunately,
I'm.
I didn't make it, and it's killing me just a bit because it was. I have heard from so many people how absolutely amazing it was, even though it was incredibly busy.
It
But
was super, super, super busy.
yeah, but
Uh,
still.
so these are what we were giving away.
The meow. That is a meow. Oh my god, it's so cute. I love it, and it's just like just the right size for like a nice lanyard or something. I'm totally want one.
Yeah, I had it on my badge for the weekend. No, don't worry. So there are a handful left. They were uh they were limited. We're probably going to do another promo like it again
Okay.
at the next sale con that we have, which will be PAX
Yay.
Unplugged in Philadelphia. So for those of you that are going to be on the northeast side of the country. We will be there. PAX Unplugged is another really cool con. It is not even remotely as busy and crazy as Gen Con, but
Yeah.
it's nice. It's tightly packed. You get to see a lot of people. Um, the game scheduling is interesting, but
That's
but
a nice way
you
to
get to
put
go.
it.
You get to go and experience the shh.
It's a nice way to put it.
Trying not to upset the PAX folks, even though they're
No,
probably
we
going to watch this
PAX
anyway.
Unplugged. I've been to PAX Unplugged. I mean, it's great, but yeah, there are some improvements that could be made that that would be
Mhm.
very nice. Um, I'm I don't know if I'm going to make it this year or not because I'm at Page in January, so and it's right around Thanksgiving, and I think there's my friends are actually starting their own con here in Wisconsin nearby. So
Ah,
it's I kind of want to go and support, you know, first year con. So we'll see what happens
I
with
gotcha.
PAX. But hey, you and I are actually going to be in the same place at the same time twice
I
this
would like.
year at Gamehole Con.
That's right. I will be at Gamehole Con,
It'll be
and
great finally
I
see
will
you in
have.
person again. This is scary.
Yeah, we actually haven't been in person together in person since what, like
That
March? Yeah,
yeah,
March.
yeah. Because
Scary
you
Con.
go to these
Our
cons, I
con
go to these
schedule.
cons. Oh
We've had a bad planning year. Let's just say,
yeah. Next year.
it's been a thing.
Next year will be better.
Next year, well, next year the game will be out, and then we'll be running it everywhere. So like
Yes.
we'll be all over the place. Speaking of which, yes, I was having news. I'm having some final conversations with the printers. Everything appears to be on schedule, which is great because that's what I told everybody at Gen Con. And
Yes. Well, as of
so
today, with everything going on, we've tried to be as transparent as possible all the way through the changes and the upheaval of the industry, for this year. So we continue to try to be. So I mean, you're in talks with the printers, and so shipping right now is still set for Fantasy Star as of the end of September, which amazing to say is
as of the
next
end of
month already.
That's right, the end of next month. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
no pressure on me, right?
Yeah,
I
no,
feel
no,
no
no,
stress whatsoever at all.
no.
Now that being said, so that is when everyone is going to end up being once the stuff makes it to our distributor, which is Studio 2, then
Yes.
we're going to start the shipping. We have we have a pretty respectable number of pre-orders. So, even if your shipment doesn't go out on like, September 30th exactly, it should be within like the first, hopefully within the first couple of weeks of October, we'll start like, getting everybody
Yeah.
shipments of books
But it's
is
it's
the goal. You
yes.
can't just ship everything at once because then they'll kill me if I ask them to do that. So, and you mean, Rich? That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
Do were we able to get the seminar stuff?
I am working on it now to see if I can manage to do it. If not, maybe you can share your screen. But give me a minute. Let me see what I can do here.
Oh,
But talk about
I will
let's.
share my screen.
Yeah, I know. It's all this.
Like I know how to
Like
know how
you
to
know
do
how to do that. Anyway,
that.
so while I'm doing that, so first of all, I'm going to remind everybody pre-orders for the Fantasy Star bundle. So that is the hardcover main book, a full copy, PDF copy of that book, as well as the PDF starter adventure, The Search for Lavino. We've talked about this several times, but that is coming to a close in just a few short weeks. It's amazing to think we finally hit this point. But a few short weeks, September 1st, Labor Day itself, Monday, September 1st, is the final day to pre order Fantasy Star if you want to get in on that. And you still have a chance to get in on one person is going to get their order completely free. So that is still going to happen. We are holding off until the second to be able to do that. We will announce that next month and who gets it. But yeah, if you want to take, get that order in, get it in now. So I got to get that sales thing in. But go ahead and talk about the panel, the Fantasy Star panel at Gen Con, which I mean sold out in
Yeah, that was
heartbeat. So tell us about that.
and yeah, really, really fast. So we had a sizable room of folks that were there, and plenty of questions. I was with Eric Weiner, who's our producer and our designer Christopher Neglon, and the three of us we went in. We were, oh wow, why is that? Oh, okay,
Oh,
that's your screen.
sorry,
Aha.
that's my screen. Let me move that. Excuse me. I keep forgetting I'm
That's
there.
okay. I'm about to do something cool. Hold on.
Okay, do something cool because that
Yeah,
distracts from me.
let me see if this works though. 'Cause, that'll be,
I'm so used to using that screen for
Okay.
that stuff. So, okay.
And there's me. And don't share that screen. There we go. Let's see if people see this at all.
Hey, there we go.
Hey, can everybody see stuff? Yay. Okay. Great. uh yeah, so yeah, we had a pretty nice conversation with everybody. This was our these were our promo slides that we had gone through. I had figured since there was a sold out, it was sold out on tickets. There were a lot of people that wanted to attend the seminar, so I figured we would just I would just kind of go over the quick and dirties of of what we were doing. So we kind of opened up with a little bit about our interest in Fantasy Star, which it's a question that gets asked because a lot of people that come to the table they ask, they're like, "What, Fantasy Star? I remember that. Um, why are you doing this?" Anybody that's watched these streams already understands that
Yeah.
I am a massive, massive, massive Fantasy Star fan. But what we decided to go through, like, the decisions that were made, why we decided to do the classic series and PSO, which was another question that was asked. I personally had gone through both of those stages. They are very, very, very different games that follow different storylines, but the reason why is we wanted to give Fantasy Star fans fall within three categories. One, true fans that played everything. You have your classic game series fans, and you have your PSO fans. People that played Fantasy Star Universe usually ended up playing PSO, at the same time, along with the games like Nova and Zero. Um, I actually really enjoyed Zero more than I thought I would. That being said, we wanted to give something for everybody. We could not fit Fantasy Star Universe, which is kind of its own thing. Uh, so there was only so much that we could fit in the book as far as content. So we decided to go with these two things, and we kind of meshed together the mechanics and the professions so that it actually works out pretty seamlessly. Let's see. Show you by the slides. A lot of people have seen this art before. We've shown the right before we did the seminar, probably about 2 weeks before we did the seminar. A lot of the material that we were talking about at the seminar went up
Mhm.
on the website. So if you had gone through the website and gone through the pages with the different types of professions and the different origins, then that material is already up there. Here's kind of a big shot of our art from Bima, which was great. That's her Alice art. I was talking about how Fantasy Star for me was kind of a um, I don't know. It was kind of a culture shock, right? Back then in the late '80s, you didn't get that. You didn't get that sci fantasy mesh unless you were watching really bad B movies. And to have that, to have like magic and laser swords and a talking cat and like a heroine who's the main character on a revenge story. Like my this king killed my brother. I'm gonna kill him. Yeah, I know my brother wants me to save the world over, but I'm gonna kill this guy. Like that was one of the cool things about the game, stuff you didn't really get to experience. Oh,
Yep.
you're going through all the pics already. So
Yep. I
all right,
found
so I
it.
can take this. I can take this down.
You can take that down. So,
Which is good because I can't see myself. But all the cool animations are gone.
uh,
um,
oh, some of that's nice.
we went over how there were a lot of bold steps that were taken by the team. Uh, like the original team that did the work for the game, they I mean, they were kind of given a mission, but a lot of it was hands off. So you had like a really really big like a diverse team of men and women, and they just kind of came up with these crazy ideas, and or crazy ideas at the time, I should say. And that's kind of how the genre came together. Just though there are specifics, but I won't get into them because we only have so much time, and we're coming we started kind of late.
Yes, I'm so
but
sorry.
there
Well,
but there were things like a lot of people will attribute the seventh iteration of a popular game franchise for the first major character permadeath. It wasn't them, it was Phantasy Star. Phantasy Star, um, like anybody that played Phantasy Star 2 remembers like the first big console game, permadeath, where you lost like a major character that was in your party, and it was like, whoa. Uh, uh, that it was something that they introduced. They made that game in itself sort of, the bad guys were not defeatable exactly. You had bosses in that game, but it was one of the first times I played a role-playing game where there was this invisible overarching evil that you couldn't beat. And then by the time you got to the end of the game, there was no good ending. It was just kind of, it was just dark. And it did things like made you question, what humanity was, like what it meant to be human, what uh the different dangers of artificial intelligence, which we are experiencing today.
that is true.
and and how when you reveal the real bad guys, you're like, whoa. And then we moved into we started talking about the generations, the different ways in which they had put in like the 1,000 year gap, and then they incorporated it into the third game where they had the 1,000 year gap, and they made this entire thing. And then you had the generational storyline where you could pass your story down to your children, and that was also something new with that game. The team had wanted to do a lot more. That they had because of the whole generational thing, they had this branching story arc that had multiple endings. A lot of the endings, because of space and time, ended up being very similar, except for one vastly different ending. We'll talk about that in a bit. And then the original team came back and kind of tied it all together for the last game. And then we didn't see Phantasy Star again for, um, was it 7 years, until PSO came out, which was another groundbreaking thing. It was the first MMO, or really, I guess it was more like Diablo than an MMO. But it was the first online game where everybody could get together on a console,
Yeah.
because the Dreamcast came with this cool little modem attachment, which only worked about 50% of the time, but it was cool when it did. And
Kind of like this
and I
podcast.
had, kind of like this podcast, and I had my ISP. I have my
Yeah,
We work more than 50% of the time.
that's
It's
true.
just, we work 100% of the time when we're working.
When we
And
work,
then
when we work 100% of the time in some way, shape, or form. We do.
some way, shape, or form.
Oh, so,
um,
oh, continue.
after Sorry, no, that's okay. After that, we went right into the different discussions about the origins, and the origins professions, how they work with one another. The I'm trying to go through some questions that I remember, and some things that we were talking about. The origins are all, um, there are some sections of the origins that are interchangeable with others. So you pick a species and a background. The species in the background gives you, kind of like for people that are familiar with the 5e aspect of things, gives you skills and certain features, and certain trainings or proficiencies. But then there's we took origins a little further and we said, well, okay, you have a species, you have a background, that's great. What environment did you grow up in? Like, what are the different things? Were you in a galactic utopia? Did you grow up on a planet with heavy gravity? Did you grow up in an environment of extreme heat or cold? Did a lot of these things make the characters a little more unique than just kind of the base check marks. So we had put in a variant that allows you to take those aspects and fit them onto your origin, so that your character is going to be, your android is going to be different than that android, or your muscat, if your GM allows you to play one, is going to be different. And you can take that. We also had a conversation about, one of the first questions was can androids use techniques? To which the answer was yes and no. It depends. We fit that in also, to where there are some games, like the classic games, where especially like Phantasy Star 3, where androids were like techniques, yeah, whatever, we got them. And and then you move on into well, Phantasy Star 4, they didn't have techniques, but they had these particular skills that were kind of like techniques, but skills were separate. Get to that later. And but in PSO, androids had no techniques. They had kind of like a recovery. And so what we did was we fit that into the origin. We made two different variants, so that depending on what setting you have, you can incorporate that. And then, like, androids without techniques have additional features. And then you can take the environmental features out of the humans, and then you can mix and match. And that's kind of the quick on the the quick on the origins. Um, and any questions before I launch into the next thing? Because I've been talking for a while and I'm looking at the chat.
No, that's okay. I like the idea. Someone put in an all muscat party, and I'm just kind of like my brain
All
is
Muscat party.
yeah. My brain's kind of going off in
I
interesting
mean,
directions with that.
you can, if you really want to. There's gonna be a whole lot of dice. Like, there's just gonna be nothing but like D20s and D6s hitting the table
I'm
over and
I'm
over
still not seeing a problem here. I'm still not seeing a problem. I think it would be hilarious. Um, but and
the
PS3 was
yes,
an incomplete masterpiece. In oh, that's
they're not wrong. So a
yeah,
little
they're
bit of
not.
backstory, which is actually also in the book, was the original team was not it was the only time the original team did not work on a Fantasy Star game. PS3 was done by a whole different team who had just finished working on Sonic Adventure. So um, they had they were given a role playing game. They didn't None of them had developed a role playing game before, except for the one guy that came from the original team that was put in charge of everything. And he had to make all the decisions. And that said, they were like, okay, make this role playing game, but you only have about half the time as you usually would to make a game. And the lead developer came up with this gigantic concept. I'm going to make a branching storyline with all these multiple endings and these generations, and I want to fit it all, because the Mega Drive, or the Genesis, was able to do all that at like an increased RAM. That's what they wanted to do. And there were a lot of ideas. I fit that all in the lore guide. There's like some little, like, tidbits and facts and stuff like that, stuff that they wanted to do. But in the end, there was only one lead. He was incredibly overwhelmed, and so they had to cut a lot. And so they compressed everything, and it came through the way that it did. People were um, disappointed with the gameplay and the graphics, and a lot of it was rushed because it had to be, and that's pretty much how it went. I will say, though, that the icon system, for those of you that played Phantasy Star 3, that whole icon combat system, which was really weird, and it was really like, out of place for a Phantasy Star game. They adopted it and they made it the complete menu system for Shining in the Darkness, which was and then that menu continued on into the Shining series, which is another series, another RPG series that I love. Half of it is tactical combat, but it's Shining in Darkness, Shining Force. I see questions popping up, so let's
Yes,
do that.
let's
Um,
get to some of the questions. So first,
Set of skills. They are very much your fighter. They are a weapon master. They get more weapon mastery options than any other profession. And the other one is the operative. The operative is your I want to say rogue, but they're a little more. Yeah, the paths were modeled off of Sheer, who actually could use techniques, but had very few of them. And the investigator, the investigator protagonist from Fantasy Star Adventure for anybody that played that Game Gear game. Uh, the operative is based on those two characters. The operative does not get techniques, but they do get to use special items. That said, there are also pieces of equipment for characters like androids, for example, because I wanted to provide ways for characters that did not have techniques to have access to them, particularly androids, but you can use that for other professions as well, and they're called caster kits, and they are um, they're an attachment that you can wear for androids. They're a way to customize your frame so that you have access to certain techniques. And there's two different types of caster kits. There's a support caster kit and there's a battle caster kit.
all right,
Um,
lots of info.
let's see, what do we got next?
Oh, I'm going to jump back here. Any examples of what types of things your environmental origin adds to your character?
Uh, let's see. I can just go and look at my list since I'm at my computer.
You have a computer. You have all the files. So,
I have I have a computer and I have all the files, and no one expects me to remember all this stuff off the top of my head, because there's a lot.
you
So there are things like let's see, the
right.
environmental traits variant. I can actually just go down the list.
There you go.
So humans get it automatically. Um, it's listed under their traits because it adds on to the traits that they already get, because humans are humans. They don't really get anything overly special other than additional fate points and the like. But let's see. Extreme heat, Arctic climate, high gravity. Whether or not you're a spacer. Did you grow up on a space station? Did you grow up on a planet with low gravity? Did you live in like a wasteland? Did you live in like a remote area? Did you grow up underground? Do you you know And then a lot of these things will give you things like advantages and disadvantages, or bonuses to being able to operate in zero G. You get like a skill with a particular vehicle, or a survival skill, or dark vision, or a lot of these things will add and subtract off of your character based off of your environment. Those are some examples.
Cafe
I can
Darcadia.
go really fast.
Yeah. Cafe Darcadia. My play group has been planning a game in tabletop sim since December, so we've gotten everything except mechanics ready to play this ASAP. Oh, we have got people
Awesome.
chomping at the bit, so to speak, to get a hold of this game. So the response has been great. And I'm hoping that people are liking the first look Fridays with the art. That seems to be a favorite for people to A lot of people have been loving the artwork, and we love being able to kind of showcase some of the artists on this. We still have a couple more Fridays
Yep.
before release, so we're going to keep going, and maybe we might throw a mechanic or two in there for folks to take a look at and
I
see.
got some
Ooh, what do you got?
I got some fun ones. I can explain when we how was another thing we did when we went over the gear. So equipment works alongside the way that professions had changed. So because skills don't skills don't operate off of proficiency bonus or or the like. We had nixed all that. And instead when you gain a level, you get a number of ranks that you can assign to skills. Your skills now work with different ranks, and they're still attached to abilities. And I led with that because it's going to lead into how the professions and the gear works. Uh, Professions each have two different stats. You have your attack power, which is your skill, your bonus that you get when you're attacking with a mastery weapon. Every profession gets one or two mastery weapons, except for the warrior who gets three and more. Gets mastery weapons, and as you wield your mastery weapon as you level, your attack power goes up. You also have a tech power stat, which also goes up as you go up in level, and that's going to cover your technique side, your different techniques and your special skills. Um, your profession dictates how fast your attack power and your tech power goes up. Obviously, the thaumaturge, for example, is going to have a much higher and faster tech power than the guardian. But the guardian and and especially the warrior is going to have their attack power is going to go up much higher. Gone is the um, I need to find a plus one weapon to get plus one to hit. No, that's kind of all integrated down into your profession. That said, the gear works a little bit different. The gear has a grade system. So a starting weapon is a grade zero. A starting item. There are certain starting items that have item grades, and they start at grade zero. And you can either, find them as treasure, or you can purchase them, or you can craft them, and or you can upgrade the ones that you have. And as you increase your item grades, like for weapons, for example, like grading up a weapon increases its damage. At the same time, once you get to a particular grade, then that weapon has like a special skill that it gets. There are daggers, or for example, and it's only if you have these weapons as mastery weapons. So so the if you have weapon mastery in that, and you have like a grade two of that weapon, then that weapon also comes with an additional thing that you can do with it. And armor works the same way. Armor also has different grades. The reason why we did the grade system also is because of the way that Fantasy Star has has different games and different settings and different pieces of gear. So we did it in a way that worked for everybody. So if you're playing, we can just go into swords, for example. Yeah, I can even remember what I'm doing here. But so your grade zero, for your classic game is going to be your steel sword that you have, and then you get to a particular level, and then your GM decides, hey, either you find this or you have a shop, or they have a titanium sword, which is a grade one, and then and then if your character has weapon mastery in the sword, then your titanium sword also does this other cool thing. Um, and then you get the plasma sword, the laser sword. Your grade four is like your Laconian weapons. But at the same time, if you're playing a PSO campaign, then you have your saber, the brand, the buster. Like the different rarities of weapons that are in PSO. So they work in tandem with each other depending on which setting you're working in, or you can just kind of make your own. Is so we did it very uh, we did it in a way that's general enough for you to fit into whatever kind of Fantasy Star setting you're playing in, but still keep all of the math in so that it works. It works the same way.
And did,
We have oh, sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say there is a request of magic items. So how to do magic items like the some like a snow crown or some staffs, things like that. That cast that have those magical values to them. How does that work in,
There
and integrate into
are
that?
the main book has some items in it. So the main book has items called accessories, and accessories are like things like the translator ring, which is I think in a couple of games it was like the magic cap that allowed you to understand different languages, and the light pendant that can be activated and sheds light all the time. The different mantles, since they're not really armor, the frag mantle and the silk mantle, those are accessories that you can wear and provide you with different defenses. Um, yep, the magic and the magic cap. Yep, and that was compressed into the translator ring. We kind of wanted to give things. Now that being said, there's a limited number of accessories in the main book. We did not focus too much on the magic item aspect of it. We wanted to give a customizable and complete gear system. So that way, it was already established in the game, and a lot of the special items. Someone was asking me about the Booba's Claw. That's great, but it's going to be in a separate release because we just didn't have the space. Is what it came down to. There are so many items in Fantasy Star. It's not even funny.
Wow.
So things like the Nay weapons, and all the different like nine the rarity 9+ artifacts that are in PSO, and all of that stuff is going to have to be in a separate release. But there are, again, the little necessary things like the Barrow gum, and the breathing mask, and like the little things that you have during the game that you carry that allow you to deal with certain environments.
All right. Let's see. Any sealed J sword or Heaven's Punisher by chance?
See the
Some
question that I just answered before.
This, yeah. So yeah. So I think that really got answered, but I wanted to be sure that that was in there. So, but yeah.
Now,
Yeah.
also very, very importantly, there's nothing that says that the GM can't just create an item that does that. The snow crown, for example, is not in the book, but there's enough examples of accessories in the book to where the GM could be like, sure, there's a snow crown, it casts T-band at said rank, and and that's that. And
So yeah, there's absolute room for homebrew or
sure,
making your own in there, at least until potentially future supplements come out for this. And in fact, that's going to lead into another question. What is something you wish could have been added to this book, but wasn't able to get in there, but maybe we'll add to the next book?
something you're asking for one thing.
I know it. You feel the hope. All right. So just some examples.
I
What are
have
some
a
things
I have
that
a lot of I have a lot of things that I wanted to add. Um, well, I would have liked to add more different kinds of profession paths. Again, only so much space. There were for gear for equipment there was a whole lot that I wanted to put in. I would have liked to put in like a lot of the special items, a lot of the, like the one of our first pieces of art is Kirik, who's wielding the um like Esred's blades, and like I wanted to put those in the book, but they're not there. But you can make them. uh, and things like the different types of special the name weapons. I would have, I wanted to put that in, but a lot of these are, again, you can as the GM come up with them, but they are all planned for another supplement. I just kind of have to have, um, well, the first thing I have to have is an expansion of the license that we have with Sega. Uh,
Yeah.
as far as putting all that together, because there are a lot of things that I do want to. This is just kind of this is the beginning. This is the first that I want to build off of. One more question that was actually during the seminar that we could not include. It's mentioned in a sidebar. Uh, is the mags. Mags are a whole big thing in PSO, and they're, as far as the RPG is concerned, it's kind of considered that that they're with your character, and that they're a part of the different kinds of skills and special features that you can use. That said, I am planning on putting at a future date. I'm planning on putting it versions that are already in the book that you can put together to create a Dubin. Or, oh, did our stream? I'm just typing in chat. Hey, Al, we're still here and working on it.
Okay. Are we back? Yep.
Are we back?
Uh, we seem to. We are back. Okay. We
Okay,
lost you
awesome.
after the Mag sidebar statement. All right. So, don't know what happened. That was weird. I don't know. Maybe unless somebody was trying to hack the channel for some reason, which is strange.
Hackers! Who's gonna hack me
I
right now?
have no idea. Does that mean we've made it somehow? If somebody's trying to hack our channel?
I
Um,
mean, people try and hack the Scout on Game Studios site like on a daily basis, but that's
Seriously.
a whole different thing. I think they're just looking for money.
I don't know. Okay, so real quick, the question was, do you think there's a way to homebrew the Dooman in the current book?
Sure, of course. I mean, you can homebrew any. You can mix and match the features that are in the origins, and I mean, a Dooman's not really not that big of a leap to create. Beasts would be the same thing. It really just, the only reason why these are not included is because they're just not in the license that we have right now, for the list of games that we can do.
Mm.
Especially, PSO2 is a current Sega development. We cannot touch that. I am not. That's a ground that I cannot walk across. So anything from that game is not going to end up in any of these books, unless they decide otherwise.
All right. Well, I'm going to throw one more question out there. Let's see. Oh, we're gonna do like two more questions, and then we're probably gonna wrap this up because just in case tech and time. The
Tech
spe
and time.
Tech and time, isn't that always the way? The species section of your site says, does Dizolians have innate magic abilities? What are they?
Dizolians, I think they have. Well, I mean, obviously they are resistant to cold. But that's a given. They do have innate abilities. I think one was the ability to change. There's a technique called Lumia that allows you to change the range of light in the area. They can cast Shifta, and that they learn at a certain level. Oh, by the way, origins that do have innate technique casting get techniques as they go up in level. So that's another way that your origin moves with you. I think at they learn Shifta and they learn Anti, I think, are the two that I can remember. Uh, but yes, those are the ones that I can remember right now, as I can't seem to bring up my file.
I swear, it's just one of those days.
Yep,
Tech
it's one of those
wise,
days.
I don't know. We were supposed to have this on a Monday. I think that whole idea is just kind of carried over to today. But I'm going to go way back, very first question, just to make sure we have it answered. After the pre-orders close, how will people be able to order after, and when will these books be available at the local, your friendly local game stores? So we know
Uh,
you're shipping out at probably the end of September, early, like the first couple of days of October at worst. What are we looking at in terms of time, in terms of being able to order after that?
well, once they start shipping out, well, they'll be available on the Studio 2 website as soon as Studio 2 has them in stock. We're going to post that link up on the website if you want to order one directly from them.
Okay.
You can do that. It usually takes Studio 2 about 3 to 4 weeks before they start ending up on Amazon. And friendly local game stores, we are talking to a few retailers right now. As far as we'll just leave the advertising to them. They're kind of working out a retailer settlement with us to get books in their stores within that first 30 days when we have everything out there. But um, after that, it's going to be up to distribution, which we love companies like Alliance, and don't even get me started on all of that. But that might actually take another couple of months before they're actually available physically in stores. But again, you can get physical copies by going to Studio 2's website and ordering it directly from
Yeah.
them.
So we can start probably doing that, I'd say probably in October?
Mid mid
Mid.
October, mid to late October.
So you'll have it in time for Christmas, folks, or to give us
It
Christmas
will
gifts.
definitely be in time for Christmas. Yeah, if it's yeah, if this book is not available for to everybody by Christmas, then I quit. I quit.
So get how to show your friends and family you truly love them. Give them the gift of Fantasy Star. Bring them to the table and have fun. Okay,
Fantasy
and
Star is love.
it is in so many ways. Okay. Uh, Personally, for me, it's dice, but okay, whatever. Everyone has their thing. But I'm a dice
That
goblin.
too. That too.
I'm a dice goblin. It's yeah. Okay, one last question, because this is a great way, I think, roughly to end on. Any plans of broadcasting a live play of character building and maybe a little playing before release for a bit of a preview? I know there's been
Ooh.
talk. We've been trying to work with a few folks in the industry who maybe could put on like an actual play of, maybe a one, Fantasy Star one shot or something so people can get a feel for it. I know that's in the works, and when
Hmm.
that finally, when that comes to fruition, folks, I promise we will get all that info out as quickly as possible, whether it's live or recorded, and then we send it out. But one way or the other, that is in the works. We just don't have any details just yet, because Gen Con was so huge, so many people were so busy doing everything else. It's kind of a matter of catching them now on the back end after Gen Con, after they get
Yeah.
everything done. So there's that. But
I have a couple of people that I have spoken to already that are on board
one or two,
with
I
the
hope that
information.
of that,
So
that we had talked about before, maybe.
yeah, yeah. Well, no, that
Oh,
the two that we had talked about before, I
yes.
have not had time to contact them yet because
Okay. Well, I know they were.
for those two, they need to have an actual date because they have a
Yeah.
very tight schedule, and I don't have an actual date.
Don't worry, dude. I know it's a little vague for everybody listening. We know what we're talking about, but they're really
Can't
awesome.
say anything.
Can't
Yeah,
say
yeah.
anything yet, but they are the people that we are talking to are just really incredible, and it'll be fantastic when we can finally get it up. So it's in the works. So Wild Wolf X, excuse me. Yes, it is in the works. We are trying to do all of that. We're hoping more than likely, if it happens, it's not going to happen before pre-orders close. So it's not going to happen in the next couple of weeks. But we're looking
It's
for maybe
it's likely going to be. I'll be honest. It's likely going to be
after.
closer to after release. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm. Uh, we are working on all thrusters go right now. Like
yeah.
there's no we actually don't have time to fit in anything. We're kind of we're at the end game of the
Crunch
project,
time. Crunch
and
time.
yeah, it is crunch. Yeah, it is crunch time. I would love to
Yeah,
get together and show some stuff, and so we just don't have the time for it. And
yeah.
I apologize for that, but we'd rather get stuff to people.
That is true. Because this book, I mean, everyone's putting that faith and trust of this. So we all have to let Rich and the team work and get it together so it will get out, be released on time. But yes, so look for something probably somewhere maybe in October. So after it releases, after everything else. But later in the fall, that's when we're hoping to have something together. And maybe we can have a very special sneak peek of a few things. Rich and I will talk for next month on a live. So we'll see maybe what we can, because by that point, pre-orders will be done. But I know you guys have been itching to get your eyes and on a few bits and pieces. So we're going to see what we can release over the next month.
Yeah, and then once the pre-orders are done and we have kind of we have a number and everything starts shipping out. Oh, also, that's something that we forgot to mention.
Oh, yeah.
uh the day after the pre-orders are done, September 2nd, we will be announcing a prize winner.
Yes.
um our contest winner, who is going to get their pre-order gonna get their order sent for free. They will have
Yeah.
their pre-order refunded, and they will receive a book and everything that comes with the pre-order special
Yeah.
as a
Actually,
prize.
it's well, second mention, but it's worth mentioning again. So, yes, that is definitely.
Oh, is it the second mention?
Yeah.
See,
So
awesome,
yes, the second on
awesome.
September 2nd. Well, we'll put it out on all the socials. We'll email the winner, who will receive their Fantasy Star bundle for free. So if you know of anybody that still needs to pre-order, you still have a couple of weeks, but this is it. We are coming down to the wire at this point. Just a couple more weeks. Remember September 1st, which is Labor Day here in the US, if you're watching from beyond the borders. September 1st is it. So September 2nd, we are going to draw that winner, and that person is going to get their pre-order for free, including all of the PDFs, the starter adventure PDF, the book PDF, the full book, everything. In fact, I think there's other stuff, but I'm not going to say anything. So we'll see what happens on that. And if anyone shows up, if you find us at PAX, obviously in November, which is early this year, it's like right around Thanksgiving, you can find Rich, and he will probably have a few more of those meow pins. So if you didn't have anything arranged, if you aren't going to be able to make it to PAX, you've got a few months to find somebody who is and convince them to go find Rich and get you your
Mhm.
pin. and
There will be physical books there.
and books,
I
yeah, for
trust by
sale.
that time. I will, I should have two of our other team there, and I believe Heather will be there. So um, you're gonna be at PAX, right?
I'm trying to see if I can manage it.
Okay.
We can talk later. You can
We
help.
could we can we can yeah,
You can
we can work this out.
assist
We can
in
work this
that.
out.
Okay,
We can
okay.
work this out. Yeah,
I would love to be there. I'd love to meet some of have the book there and be able to meet some of the these our fans and some of these people who
working
are
on it, working on it.
fabulous. So, but until then, we have Gamehole Con in October in Madison, Wisconsin. Rich and I will both be there, guaranteed, because we're both already that's already planned. So we're both going to be there. There may or may not be a couple of pins on Rich's person, maybe.
We won't have a booth though at
That's
Game
true, but if
Yeah,
maybe it's a
you're all just gonna have to find me. There are at
scavenger hunt.
Gamehole Con. Well, I mean they'll know where I'll be because we have another seminar at Gamehole Con.
Oh, there you go.
So for those of you going to be in Madison, Wisconsin, we have another Fantasy Star seminar that'll get posted up on the socials.
Yep.
Um, and we have two games that are running also at Gamehole Con. One is the Search for Luvino. It's a starter adventure, so if anybody doesn't want to get that ruined for you, don't come, don't watch. But if you want to play, either myself or one of the other two team members that are coming with me are going to be running there. And then there's another adventure that I had just put together called the New Pioneers, and that's a PSO adventure for Phantasy Star Tabletop, and I'll be running that myself at GameHole.
And we'll see if hopefully, fingers crossed, we might be able to record one of those games. We're going to see if we can get the tech in line for that, and
Will
maybe we
there be
might be able to. Maybe.
will there be pins for the players at your two games?
Ah,
Quite possibly. Again, I'm in short supply, but
there might be a couple. Just
there might be some for at least one game, for at least the game that I'm running anyway. I can bring some. I can do that.
I'm so looking forward to getting my mount
Uh,
in. It's gonna be so cool. I'm gonna put that on my lanyard. It's gonna be awesome.
and one is reserved for Heather, so that
Yeah,
so.
sorry guys. The advantages of putting it of dealing with all this tech nightmare. I actually get a meow pin, and I'm very much looking forward to putting that on my lanyard for going forward for the conventions because it's lovely. All right, I think that is about it. It's quarter after so the hour, and we appreciate everybody coming out. Definitely love seeing a few new people. I know we try to do this over lunchtime so people have a chance, but again, we still have just a little bit of time left, just about 3 weeks, just shy of 3 weeks, to get your pre-order for the Fantasy Star bundle. You can go on to the website, Skydon Game. Yep, skydongame.com. Go on there. You'll see the links for Fantasy Star. It's really easy to get down to this page that you can see right now. That is going to be us. Rich, any last
That's gonna be
minute
it.
words? Okay.
I've said a lot of words.
You did. You did say a lot of words, but that's okay because people are itching for the information. They desperately want the information, so it's good. So other than that, if you folks, if you want to know more, please, the best way to do it is be on our Discord. Rich is on there on a fairly regular basis, and happy to talk Fantasy Star Geek or Esper Genesis or any number of the Skydon Games Studios stuff.
Yes. If there's one thing that I've learned to be on regularly, it's on Discord. So if you know people, you find people, come join the Discord server. Come talk stuff. You have questions, I will answer them eventually, but it'll be faster than email for sure.
Yeah.
Uh,
Discord's probably the best way
but
to engage with the team, with the answers. and being able just to discuss mechanics or get any information. Also, we try to post the first look Friday art or whatever is being posted on Fridays. We usually try to post that on Thursday on the Discord, so you get that info, you get that look a day early before everybody else on the rest of the socials. But you can come and find us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Blue Sky, X, and Threads. We kind of cover most of that gamut. So if you are on any of those, you are going to get the stuff. And once again, my video stuff is not working. So we're just going to transition this out here in just a second. Rich, I will talk to you very soon online.
Thank you.
Everybody else, we are going to try and we're going to have a stream next month. I'm going to pull Rich away from the crunch of the last minute work long enough for about an hour. Sometime will announce the date soon, but sometime probably about mid-September, just to make sure and if any updates come down the pipeline, you will absolutely get those as soon as we know what's going on. So until then, thank you all for joining us. We will see you next time, and I guess we'll see you at the table.
Hey, everybody.
Bye, guys.